in the quiet hush of a forgotten field, where the soil still remembers footsteps from 100 years ago, a strange new shape begins to rise. It's not a barn, not a house, not even something you've seen before. And yet, somehow it feels like it belongs. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because it's a simple way to show your love for these incredible designs. Like it was always there, waiting under the surface. Like a seed that just needed the right moment to bloom. Its lines are soft, but deliberate. Its curves feel ancient, yet impossibly modern, as if time itself bent just slightly to make room for it. It doesn't shout. It doesn't compete. It simply is. But here's the twist. This home wasn't carved by hand. It wasn't drawn on a dusty drafting table or sketched on napkins in the back of a cafe. It wasn't even designed in the way we used to understand that word. It was born from code, from algorithms, from data, from invisible formulas that speak the language of possibility. This isn't architecture as we've known it. This is something else entirely. A home that listens before it speaks, that shapes itself around the way you live, not the other way around. It's called a Parametric Barndominium, and once you see what it really is, you'll never look at home the same way again. We share new content regularly to help you create spaces you love, so don't forget to subscribe. We've always searched for shelter, long before blueprints, long before brick and steel. We looked for a place to rest, a place to belong, not just four walls and a roof, but a feeling, security, warmth, the soft certainty that the world could be shut out, if only for a night. And in that long search for home, the barn became a quiet icon, rugged, honest, enduring, built not for beauty, but for necessity. And yet, over time, there was beauty in that. The creak of old timber in the wind, the dust caught in beams of afternoon light, the way everything inside served a purpose, and nothing was wasted. It was a place of labor, yes, but also of gathering, of stories told while the rain tapped gently on a tin roof, of generations moving through space with rhythm and repetition. The barn wasn't trying to impress. It simply stood, and in its stillness, it held the memory of those who leaned on it. But now, we're in a different time, a faster one, a louder one, a world of endless scrolling and shrinking attention. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support means to me, and it helps keep the design ideas coming your way. And yet, the need is the same. We still crave that feeling, a place that feels real, that brings us back to something rooted, something raw. So what if we could take that ancient spirit, the soul of the barn, and reimagine it for tomorrow? What if home didn't just protect us, but reflected us? Would it still feel like a barn? Or would it become something entirely new? Parametric design. It sounds technical, precise, maybe even cold. But at its heart, it's not numbers. It's not code. It's curiosity. A conversation between constraint and imagination. A quiet whisper from the designer to the design itself. What happens if we bend here? What shape appears if we pull just slightly there? This is not architecture drawn in ink. It's sculpted from relationships. One variable talking to another, each change rippling through the whole. If you love this type of look, hit that subscribe button to help us create more videos. And let us know in the comments what you'd love to see in future videos. It is logic, yes, but it is also language. A language where form follows feeling, and where even structure is allowed to breathe. Parametric design doesn't begin with a fixed idea. It begins with a question. And when that question is asked with care, the answers are not rigid lines or sterile boxes. They are curves that respond to light, angles that follow the wind, walls that know where you walk and why. Now imagine this digital poetry, meeting the grounded soul of a barndominium, a structure once defined by simplicity and utility, suddenly awakened by algorithmic grace. The familiar becomes unfamiliar, yet more honest than ever. The roof line still nods to the barn. But it flows now, guided by sun paths, by sight lines, by you. Every inch is considered. Nothing is random. But nothing is forced. A home not merely constructed, but composed. And in this meeting, between the mathematical and the emotional, between data and dirt, something extraordinary begins to emerge. Not just a place to live, but a place to become. Barndominiums were already a quiet rebellion. They took what was once purely functional, a barn, and dared to call a home. They stripped away excess, embraced open space, merged the rustic with the modern, the rural with the refined. A barndominium was never about impressing the neighbors. It was about living simply, living honestly, letting utility become beauty. But now something new is unfolding, because the tools have changed. Parametric design doesn't ask the barndominium to stay still. It invites it to move, to stretch, to fold, to wrap itself gently around the land that holds it. The structure begins to listen, to the sun, to the slope of the earth, to the rhythm of how you live, how you move, how you breathe. Each line is intentional. Each curve is there for a reason. It's no longer just a box with a pitched roof. It's a living form, a shell that bends to its purpose with grace. No two are the same, because no two lives are the same. One may echo the arc of nearby hills. Another may mirror the flight of wind over plains. Another might narrow where shadows fall longest, and open wide where the morning light is kindest. Each home becomes a fingerprint, a memory in motion, an architectural story written in the quiet language of data. And yet, nothing about it feels digital. It feels human, as if the house had always been waiting for this version of you, and finally had the tools to meet you there. This isn't just a barndominium. It's who you are, made structural. Every home holds a story, but some, the ones born from intention, from memory, they speak. There's Ella. She grew up where the hills rolled gently like ocean waves, where the seasons didn't just pass. They arrived. So she designed her Barndo to bloom with them. Curved roof lines echo the rhythm of the land she knew as a child. Her walls open in spring, breathe in summer, tighten in winter like a body bracing for snow. It doesn't just shelter her. It moves with her. And then there's Sam, a retired engineer with a quiet way of thinking. His home is precise, but not stiff. He built it to bend light inward, not outward. So it pools in corners the way sunlight once did in his father's workshop. His house remembers too, not in words, but in angles, in measured shadows, in the way time slows when you step inside. These aren't just buildings. They're timelines made tangible, places where the past doesn't haunt. It grounds, where architecture becomes autobiography. And what's remarkable is, they didn't hire some grand firm to imagine these places. They worked with systems that listened. Parametric design isn't just high-tech. It's deeply personal. You give it your rhythms, your preferences, your history, and it gives you back a structure that knows you, not just where to place the windows, but where the light should fall. When you're standing in your favorite spot, at the hour you feel most alive. This is what it means to live in a home that remembers, because it was made from your memory. A tree doesn't ask permission to grow the way it needs. It stretches where light pulls it, roots deeper where water hides. It leans, twists, balances, not out of choice, but out of quiet understanding. A parametric barndominium is the same. It doesn't fight the land. It listens to it. It leans into the sun, pulls back from the wind, and settles itself like a stone worn perfectly smooth by time. The slope of the earth is not an obstacle. It's an invitation. The surrounding trees, the nearby water, the path of clouds, they all become collaborators. And behind it all, code is quietly working, not dictating, but shaping. Measurements become moments. Variables become values. The architecture begins to feel organic. It is data meeting dirt, Precision meeting poetry.